Yes, I finally built, made, got my Cybertruck. What do I mean? Let's find out. Hey there, welcome back to Am I Tesla Guy? All things Tesla from an everyday guy in Michigan. Okay, I'm just playing with you. Obviously, the Tesla Cybertruck is not out yet. I do have a reservation for one, a dual motor. So what do I mean that I got a Cybertruck? You may have seen back probably several months ago now that Mattel has their Lego type brick system called MEGA, and they came out with a Cybertruck. Now, they are sold out now as of the recording of this video, which is on January 9th, 2022. But I was lucky enough to get two of them. I put one together and I just finished it. It took many hours, mainly because I was doing it like after dinner some nights or occasionally on the weekends. I didn't just sit down and do it like some of the far more dedicated people on YouTube have done. And I did not record me putting it together because that would have just been painful for all of us to watch. Anyway, I do have it finished, so let's take a look and see what it looks like. Okay, first let's actually take a look at the box. So this is the box that it comes in. So let's take a look and let's open it up. Inside you have three big boxes, and on top you have a kind of a smaller rectangular box and the instructions. Now the instructions are quite a book, and I did not find them as easy to follow as most Lego instructions that I've worked with, but nonetheless we got to put together. Each of these boxes had bags in them that you had to cut open, and then you end up putting it together. And the box itself, man, they did some really great marketing because it looks fantastic. Shows you kind of all the neat little features that the completed truck will have. As you will see, mine looks not nearly as nice as the one that's on the box. Clearly much more talented people were putting that one together. So that just gives you an idea of the box and the packaging and everything that it came in. And now for the big reveal. This is what the finished product looks like. I'm not a Lego purist. I really haven't put together a ton of Lego over my years, but I did find these bricks a little more difficult to work with. I didn't find that they fit quite as well. I did actually have a couple of things that were broken. You'll probably end up seeing that as I show you more here, which was a real bummer. Tried to fix it and put it back together, and I didn't get it. But nonetheless, you can't tell by looking at it without me saying something. So let's take a look at kind of the details they put in it, which I think is really cool. And we were going to start from the front and we are going to go to the back. So in the front, you actually have a hood that lifts up, and then inside of there, I don't know how to describe it, the Cybertruck will have adaptive suspension. So this actually has adaptive suspension. If you look really closely in here, you see there's like this red rubber band type thing. That's the thing that broke. So the suspension on mine in the front does not work quite right, but it's pretty cool. The hood goes up and down and everything. You can adjust the suspension. The wheels and tires are quite frankly one of the coolest parts, I think, of the entire truck. They look really cool and they look just like the Cybertruck. And the nice thing is they're perfect because I didn't have to put them together. And so as we work our way back on the truck itself, you have opening and closing doors. That's pretty cool. I will admit that a couple of these doors I put together incorrectly the first time. But I was able to get them put together, and they do open and close, as you can see. And what I think is so cool is if you look inside here, you can see like there's a rear view mirror. You've got that huge glass windshield, which of course is just a piece of plastic in this case. But then you look at the middle seat in the front. If you fold it down, you've got your armrest, but you also have your Tesla mug for your favorite cup of coffee or whatever your favorite beverage may be when you're driving in the apocalypse in your Cybertruck. But I think that's pretty cool. It's a nice little touch that even the coffee mug has a Tesla T on it. So as we move to the back, you'll see that the tonneau cover is closed on the truck. So let's just open up the lift gate and then we will pull the tonneau cover back. This is another thing that's not working quite right. Occasionally I have to lift up a little bit at the top of the tonneau cover to get it to roll back correctly, but it works. I think that is just a really cool touch, but not to be outdone by the hidden compartment in the truck bed. If you lift that up, you will see we have the world famous mallet and the metal ball. Both of these are items that Franz van Holzhausen the chief designer at Tesla, memorably took to the vehicle. With a sledgehammer, he slammed the side of the Cybertruck to prove the strength of the steel, and with the now infamous metal ball, he threw it at the impenetrable glass, except that it wasn't, which leads to another interesting little tidbit. I don't know if you saw as we were working our way from the front to the back of the truck, but the glass on the driver's side windows is actually shattered. That's a nice touch. It's a nice touch. So it's neat that they have a special storage area for the mallet and the ball. And then you can see in the lift gate in the back, you actually have that ramp that comes down out of it, which is how they drove the Cyber Quad up into the bed. So it would have been cool if it came with like a little Cyber Quad where they're already put together or that you had to put together. And in the back, you also have the suspension so it can go up and down. I think that's pretty cool. That is pretty much it. That is the Mattel Cybertruck. Now, given how precariously perched some of these pieces are because of my mediocre building skills, I'm probably going to just put this on a shelf and admire it from afar. If I'm really upset someday, I may pull it down, grab the metal ball and the sledgehammer out of the back, and vent some frustration onto the side of the vehicle, just like they did in the reveal. Not really, because we all know I wouldn't be able to put it back together afterwards. I do think it looks really cool, and that's something the family said after it got all put together. It looks really, really neat. I mean, it looks better from afar. It looks really impressive when you're a good probably 10, 15 feet away. The closer you get to the more you realize, wow, there's some massive panel gaps. And it just doesn't seem to fit together quite like I had expected it to. But nonetheless, I mean, who's going to be looking at it that closely? I'm pretty happy with it, and I think it's going to be a fun display piece. So I'd like to ask you, what did you think about the Mattel Cybertruck? Have you got one? Do you know somebody else who got one? If you do have it and you put it together, I'd love to know what your experience was with that, what you think about the finished product, or if you've seen others who have put it together. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about it. Did I miss anything? Because that's very common with me. Why don't you drop me a comment down below, and please make sure to throw a thumbs up, like this video, unless you didn't like the video. Subscribe if you'd like to see future videos, and I will see you on the next one.